There are a lot of assumptions floating around out there about classic cars and classic car ownership. If you're somebody looking to buy a car and haven't yet pulled the trigger, you might have even heard these too. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 biggest lies that I always hear that might keep you from buying a classic car. If you're looking to buy a classic car, grab our free inspection checklist that you can take with you when you look to purchase a car. So the first problem I've got is people often think that these cars are unreliable, right? Are they unreliable? I don't know. I think people have been driving classic cars forever. And if they're built right or they've been maintained properly, they don't have to be unreliable. Generally speaking, a car that's unreliable is because over 50 years it's had a bunch of random mismatched parts slapped on the car, which equals unreliable. It's had poor maintenance. Nobody's actually taken care of the car. That makes it unreliable. But if you have a classic car, like any car, if you take care of it, if you maintain it, if you listen to it and do service intervals, it's going to be a reliable car. And for those of you that are worried about like the old technology and that's not reliable, things like points distributors, drum brakes, all of those types of things were okay back in the day and they still can work fine now. But if you want to upgrade your car, that's the beauty of what's going on with the classic car market these days, is there's so many different upgrades out there that are going to help you be able to keep the car on the road. Everybody makes kits for like almost all of these cars. You can get disc brakes for any Ford, Mopar, Chevy. You can get engine upgrades to bolt right onto your engine. You can get better carburetors, better radiators, better radios. Pretty much anything you would want to get for a classic car is readily available. So let's go ahead and dispel that myth that these cars aren't reliable. The second major myth that I hear all the time is that they're way too expensive to buy. I get it. Classic car prices have gone through the roof over the last 10 or 20 years, and a lot of these auctions have really raised the prices so high that the average guy can't get into a car. It's too expensive. But I don't believe that that's completely true. There are a lot of different cars out there that you could look into getting. If you don't have the 30 or 40 grand it might cost to get a decent Chevelle, maybe consider getting something like a 4-door or pick up a Nova or look at some different types of cars. You might have to shift a little bit in terms of what your expectations are in terms of price, but there are a lot of affordable classic cars out there that you can still find, especially if you shop around. They don't necessarily have to be expensive. In fact, they're not all going to be selling at top dollar. If you search around, hopefully you can find a car that maybe needs a few upgrades, right? You might be able to do the interior, or you might be able to do a paint job, although I recommend you stay away from a paint job because it's very expensive. But if you get something that just needs a few repairs and you could fix it up over time, maybe they're not that expensive. But speaking of expenses and being expensive, I do recommend, if you can, you spend your max budget when you buy a car. If you got 20 grand to spend, probably spend about 20 grand to get a car, because usually you're going to get the best bang for your buck that way. If you think you're going to buy a car for 10 and do a bunch of repairs to it immediately, that's going to take a bunch of time and probably will cost more than you think it's going to cost. Generally speaking, parts and labor, if you're paying somebody to do it, are going to be about 50-50. So if you're going to spend a couple grand, you know, like on an air conditioning kit, you're going to spend at least that or more to install it. So keep in mind that sometimes you buy a car and you think you're going to do upgrades to it, that might cost you more than if you actually bought a car that has a lot of the upgrades you want on it already. But in any effect, if you pick up a classic car, it doesn't have to be expensive. I get it, the more you spend, the better car you might get, but there are still deals out there. So happy hunting. I'm sure you could find something that fits your budget. Another misconception is that these cars just aren't that safe. The reality is they're not as safe as new cars, but it doesn't mean that they are unsafe. We have so many different things that are positives about these cars and so many slight upgrades that you can do to make them safe. So I try to get rid of that mindset as well. Usually when I'm doing a car, I'll do something like a 3-point seat belt, so that dispels the concern about just having a lap belt or no seat belts. Safety, yes, we can do that. With so many different upgrades available, you know, you can put power disc brakes on these cars, you can do upgraded suspension, you can do things to make them handle, perform, and stop better than they ever did when they came out of the factory. So to that end, I think you can make a car be safe if you want it to be. And besides, how often do we really drive these cars anyways? I mean, if you drive it around town and you're just running errands in it, if you're taking it to a car show, if you're not hot rodding and acting a fool in it, they're probably relatively safe. I think you just need to make sure that your car is well maintained and your car's up to quality standards, and you'll have a car that can be safe to drive on a regular basis. Yet another major concern is that people think, I'm gonna have to work on it all the time and I don't know how to work on a car. Well, the reality is, like I said, they can be reliable, and you can actually learn how to work on your car yourself as well. Most of the technology is pretty straightforward and simple. We don't have any computers required, we don't have scanners, we don't need all of these expensive tech tools. With a general set of basic tools, some wrenches, some screwdrivers, a Chilton's manual, and maybe YouTube, you could probably get in and maintain the basic things that you need to adjust and address on your car week in and week out. Get yourself a screwdriver and learn how to adjust an idle. Mess with a carburetor. It's not that scary. Trust me, you can do a little bit of homework and you'll figure it out. Hoses, belts, a lot of this stuff is pretty rudimentary, entry-level mechanics 101. So you don't have to be a mechanic. If you don't want to learn anything about the car and you don't want to be mechanically inclined, or you don't want these really cool greasy fingernails, then what you could do is have a really good friend or a good mechanic you can go to. Point being, you don't have to know much about a classic car to be a classic car owner. Trust me, I run a restoration shop, and every single day I have customers that know absolutely nothing and they still own these cars. So don't let that get in the way of you owning a classic car. You can get one, you don't have to be a master mechanic to have one, and don't let that hold you back. Okay, probably one of the biggest concerns I hear people have and say is that these cars aren't fuel efficient, that they're gas guzzlers. Well, maybe there's some truth to that, right? If you've got a 454 big block, a stock transmission, tall gears, the thing's probably gonna get 8 or 10 miles a gallon. But how often do you drive it anyways? I mean, are you driving it 50 miles at a time? Do you really care how much gas costs? I couldn't afford gas when I was 16 and I drove my car everywhere. I can't afford gas now. I'm in California, $5 a gallon, but I still drive my car everywhere. But there are a lot of upgrades you can do to make the car more fuel efficient, right? A lot of guys are gonna go to fuel injection like this car has, and that's gonna help you get a little bit better fuel economy. Mainly fuel injection is gonna give you efficiency and crispness, a little bit of power. It's not gonna give you a ton more fuel economy, but it's a little bit. Do an overdrive transmission. Okay, now when I get on the highway, I'm not stuck in third gear. I can throw it in fourth or overdrive if it's an automatic, or if I run a stick shift, I'm gonna run a 5 or 6 speed. And to be honest, they kind of go to sleep on a freeway. You should be able to, with a good overdrive transmission, do about 2,000 RPMs going 75 miles an hour down the freeway. That's not a lot of work on the engine, and it's not nearly as much work on your wallet. Conversely, if you have the car that's all stock, 2-speed power glide, something like that, yes, it might be a gas guzzler because you're going like 3,000 RPMs, at 60 miles an hour. That takes the fun out of it. So consider these upgrades when you're doing a car. And speaking of upgrades, I think one of the most popular upgrades you see these days is going to a complete modern engine. Instead of taking something like this old 454, building it up with a nice cam and fuel injection, we've made it more powerful and we've made it get a tiny bit more fuel economy. But if you do something like an LS engine or a Coyote swap if you're a Ford guy, or a Hemi swap if you're a Mopar guy, doing these types of modern engines are going to give you so much incredible performance and fuel economy. Most every car that we build around here at the shop has a modern engine in it. I admit it. I like driving them, and so do the customers, and it's the way to fly. So a lot of these cars have 500 horsepower. That seems to be the low benchmark anymore. And they get 15 to 20 miles a gallon going down the highway and around town, especially if you can stay out of the throttle a little bit. They're reliable, they ride really smooth, they don't leak oil, they don't have to be problematic. So if you're looking to buy a classic car, grab our buyer's checklist. When you're looking, you'll know what to look for, and just keep in mind, they are old cars. They're not equipped with the technology that you get on a brand new Tesla or a brand new Corvette. So don't fall for all these misconceptions. It's not really that true that these cars are unreliable, that they're unsafe, that they have to be too expensive, that they don't have the ability to get good fuel economy. All of these things can be overcome. There's just nothing like having a classic car and being a classic car owner. Don't let these things dissuade you. Get yourself a classic car. You won't regret it.